time that we all look forward to. This is the time when the Holy Spirit, we call that the Shekinah, the feminine aspect of Yah, comes down and blesses us so that we can be renewed. That we can get back up on Sunday or Monday, whatever our first day of work is, and get back on it. Now some of us say we don't take a day off, but you should. And if you don't, just take an hour. Just take some time to reflect on the week so you can thank Yah for all that He's done. But first I want to say Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, brothers. Shabbat Shalom, sisters.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Now, of course, we got to start off with a prayer. And the first prayer we're going to start off with is Baruch Atah Yahweh Eloheinu melech haolam v'shachit shanu b'mitzvotah v'tzivan la'adlik ner shel Shabbat. Now that's thanking God for the lights of the Shabbat. Although we're not lighting the candle, we lighten up your hearts right now. We want it to be pure. We want the Holy Spirit to come and reside in us so that we can hear the message that's going to be put forward for you. Baruch atah Yahweh Eloheinu melech haolam la'asot b'divrei Shabbat. Yah, thank you for commanding us to busy ourselves with this thing called the Shabbat. That's important. That's important. Because after this, when you go home and you sit down with your friends and family, neighbors, you can say, man, I've been reading about this thing in the Bible called the Shabbat. And today I actually did that. And now, every week, you can do it at home, and then you can come join us when we have something. Now there is today. There's something that we wanted to talk about. I was going to put something on your mind about unity, and the reason unity is important is because we had a long conversation yesterday. Wasn't it yesterday? Wednesday. Emoji. Okay, we had a long conversation on emoji. And the conversation was about what is the reason that we as a people, as a tribe or community, or whatever we want to call ourselves, continually find ourselves in a situation where we're depending on others for our every aspect of existence except breath. And the answer to that was one thing. In order to have a nation, a tribe, a family, you must first have community. And that starts with commonality. What do you have in common with the person sitting next to you? What do you have in common? Other than the fact that we're in this one place. Other than the fact that we mostly African Americans. The reason that we don't know is because there has been a plan to make sure you don't know. There's been a plan. So what I did was I looked at something here in Proverbs. Proverbs 6 and 16. And what it tells you is out of 6 things that Yah hates, and the one thing that he says is a total abomination, which means there's absolutely no forgiveness for it. You know what I said? There is something that Yah says there's absolutely no forgiveness for. Did you know that? That it was something that you can't ask for forgiveness for? Have you ever heard of something like that? Come on now, help me out. Brother, have you heard of that? Because they always say you can always ask forgiveness, right? And that was, you can be granted, right? There's something that there is absolutely no forgiveness for. So, look, wait a minute. That is, if you believe the laws and tenets in this book. Now, if you don't believe that, then, hey, everything is fair game. So let's take a look at that. Here in Deuteronomy, here in Proverbs 6:17, they say, these things does the Lord hate, and the seventh are an abomination unto him. Now, abomination means it's something he ain't forgiven. He just ain't gonna forget that. It says, a proud look and a lying tongue, a hand that sheds innocent blood. Those things he hates. A heart that devises wicked imaginations. That means that's our TV. He don't like that. Feet that be swift to run to mischief. That means I get off work and I will run straight to the casino. And I just get into all kind of mischief. I don't go home to check on nobody. He don't like that. False witnesses that speak lies. That is, you go to court and to say to yourself, you say something that ain't true about somebody else. You don't like that. Now, we see that a lot lately. And the last thing that there's absolutely no forgiveness for is he that sows discord between his brothers. So if you are walking around and making your brothers hate each other for your benefit, divide and conquer, we heard about that. There's absolutely no forgiveness for that. Because you can't unite a people that has discord because of lies or whatever it is. If someone has gossip going around, how do you defend yourself from gossip? You can't defend yourself. You can't defend yourself against a lie. So, Yah hates that person. And that person cannot be forgiven. We got that?
Yes, sir.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Now, so now, there are a couple of other things that I want to talk about. But before I do that, I want to bring on the Prince Amiel. There's too many A's. Prince Amiel has got a message that he brought from D.C., right? So he's going to tell us something that's going to help us along this line of unity. Let's bring him on.
קודם כל כבוד להיות ישראל. Shalom, shalom, kulam. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. How the heaven is everybody?
Perfect. Great.
Yeah, you had to get that. How the heaven is everybody?
Great.
So I'm just going to talk to you for a few minutes about a dilemma for us as a people. There have been times when you've seen certain things, like you've seen mass killings, or somebody do something atrocious, or you may be thinking about wars, or you may be thinking about the ill treatment that people perpetuate on each other, that kind of thing, right? And then what you'll say is, I can't believe somebody would do that. But that's not what you're really saying. What you're really saying is that you wouldn't do that. Because you really can't speak for somebody else. because they're not you. So, in essence, what you were saying is that that which is being perpetuated, I wouldn't do it. I can't believe somebody else would do it. Now, so in essence, what I'm going to explain to you is the quandary in what we call moral positioning. It's just like the Kohen went to that chapter of Psalms and talked about the things that God hates, right? Lying tongue, feet that run, swift mischievousness, and so on and so on, right? Now, that's a moral position. But that's a moral position on the Hebraic side. The problem is that you think that it's a moral positioning on the Eurocentric side. So you assume that the Eurocentric system should have morals, values, and principles. Now, if you're paying any attention to the news today, you find out that all these major corporations, that all these people steal, all these people rob, all these people lie, right?
Oh yeah.
They do that.
Oh yeah.
Because that's how they started the country, right? So I want to bring a little evidence to what I'm saying, because this quandary, this moral positioning, is that our people are stuck thinking that if they satisfy the Eurocentric moral positioning or absence of that, that they are doing the right thing, because they are dealing with satisfying that which was created by the leadership of the Eurocentric world. But the problem is that anytime we're trying to lift ourselves into their anti-moral position, we think we're doing the right thing. We think that voting is the right thing to do, even though most of us who are intelligent know that it's all game to give you the impression that you had choice. Because democracy gives people the illusion of choice. So you think, well, I'm going with the Republican, I'm going with the Democrat, but in all actuality, they're all on the same team. You're the only one that ain't on the team, but you playing the game that they created. But even though you may get that understanding, you still attach morals to this system. Because you expect them to treat you right. You expect the bank to treat you right. Huh? You expect your school system to treat you right. You expect the police to treat you right. You understand? Well, it never was. But I'm going to show you the difference between us and them, because everything that we've been through and everything that we're going through we've been assisted in being a lower class. We just didn't put ourselves in. We were assisted in being a lower level of people by those who had power over us. So the first thing I'm going to do, and you all have heard about this, and it's called the Willie Lynch papers. How many of y'all heard about the Willie Lynch papers? Now, what's interesting about the Willie Lynch papers is the thing that we haven't done is a treatment on whether they were right. Yes, sir. Because you remember, he said that if you use this program, it could last 300 years or even 1,000 years. That's in the document, right? So now, all the way from the 1700s to 2016, now we need to make an assessment as to whether the program worked.
Yes, sir.
Are y'all following me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so all we got to do is go back to the original document. Now, in the original document, if you will permit me, the Willie Lynch papers, The Making of a Slave. Now that doesn't sound accidental. That sounds a little premeditated, doesn't it?
Yes, sir.
The Making of a Slave. Now let's see if they were successful?
Yes, sir.
Because that's the question I want to ask. Hundreds of years later, were they successful? So the speech said was delivered by Willie Lynch on the bank of the James River in the colony of Virginia in 1712. Lynch was a British slave owner in the West Indies. That's in the islands, Turks and Caicos, right. All the islands that are in what they call the Caribbean. That's what they refer to as the West Indies. Bermuda, which Bermuda is a little more north, you understand what I'm saying? But you get all of those, Jamaica, all of those islands. It says, the British slave owner in the West Indies, he was invited to the colony of Virginia in 1712 to teach his methods to slave owners. The term lynching, when they talk lynch somebody, the term lynching is derived from his last name. So the term lynch didn't come into play till 1712. So when you're talking about lynching somebody, this is a European system, lynching, right? Now this is the subject of his speech. Now we want to see if they were successful. Because if we can see what was the result of this program, we wouldn't be so hard on ourselves. Because that's the thing, not to be so hard on yourself, not to feel so guilty about the hopelessness and the helplessness, and that you have to struggle every day and you have to do all kinds of things. We didn't have to do all kinds of things we didn't want to do. You know what I'm saying? To feed our families, to take care of our people, to take care of ourselves. We didn't have to do inhumane things. We didn't been brought down to basically nothing at certain points in time. Even to a nothing today that you would think is a something. Because we ain't no better than we were in 1712.
We were.
So now, it says, I greet you here on the bank of the James River in the year of our Lord, 1712. First, I shall thank you, the gentlemen of the colony of Virginia, for bringing me here. I am here to help you solve some of your problems with slaves. Your invitation reached me on my modest plantation in the West Indies, where I have experimented with some of the newest and still the oldest methods for control of slaves. Ancient Rome would envy us if my program is implemented. Are y'all hearing?
Yes, sir.
The arrogance. As our boat sailed on the James River, named for our illustrious king, whose version of the Bible we cherish, King James. Are y'all hearing him?
Absolutely.
Setting it up real nice. Because he got a program for everybody. And he said, 300 years, maybe it'll last 1,000. He said, I saw enough to know that your problem is not unique. While Rome used cords of wood as crosses for standing human bodies along its highway in great numbers, you are here using the rope and the tree on occasions. He said, I caught a whiff of a dead slave hanging from a tree a couple of miles back. You are not losing valuable stock by hangings. You are having uprisings. I'm saying you are not only losing valuable stock by hangings, but you are having uprisings. Slaves are running away. Your crops are sometimes left in the fields too long for maximum profit. You suffer occasional fires, and your animals are killed. So what he was saying was, look, this thing about y'all hanging people like they used to do in Rome, y'all cutting into your profit. Said, because you ain't doing nothing but pissing off the slave. You make him run away, or you make him fight, or you make the situation so futile that he have to do something to protect himself. He said, that ain't the way to do it. So he come with a different program. He come with a sociological and psychological program. He said, don't beat the slave, don't kill the slave, don't hang the slave from the tree, because you're going to lose money. Y'all follow me? Gentlemen, you know what your problems are? I do not need to elaborate. I'm not here to enumerate your problems. I am here to introduce you to a method of solving them. In my bag here, I guarantee every one of you that if installed correctly, it will control the slave for at least 300 years. My method is simple. Now we're going to take stock right now. Let's see if it worked. Y'all follow me? They said in my bag, 1712. If you put this into play, it'll last 100 years. And later on he says 1,000. But it'll last 300 years. Now let's take stock. Says, my method is simple. Any member of your family or your overseer can use it. I have outlined a number of differences among the slaves and make the differences bigger. I use fear, distrust, envy for control. Do we have fear?
Yes, sir.
Do we have distrust?
Okay.
Do we have envy?
Yes, yes.
So if we're taking stock, man, we gotta look at this. It's profound, isn't it?
Absolutely.
You just didn't do this of yourself. We ain't in this bad position just because you wanted to be in the bad. You never wanted to be in a bad position. You didn't want to be a slave in the first place. But some people went to work on you, and let's see how deep it was. These methods have worked on my modest plantation in the West Indies, and it will work throughout the South. Take this simple little list of differences and think about them. On to my list is age, but it's there only because it starts with an A. The second, so age, right? The second is color or shade. Now, I personally, when I was growing up, I used to prefer light-skinned women, just being honest with you. And then one day, I met this very dark-skinned girl, darker than all y'all in the room. And she was cute, beautiful. I took home to my mother. And my family introduced her, and we were sitting on the couch. My mother got up, went to the kitchen and peeked around the door. She said, "Psst, come here." And so I went to see what she was talking about. This is what my mother said. She said, "Why you bring that black thing in here?" I'm like, "Mom, what are you talking about?" She said, "She's too dark. You need to tell her to go home." Imagine that coming from a mother. I like this girl. I mean, she was like, as long as I was bringing light-skinned women home, she was happy.
Mine didn't even get that far, son. So we don't bring them here to begin with, so I can even get in the house. If you get a girl, she's either going to be white or light-skinned. Bring them in my house.
Y'all know what I'm talking about.
Yes, sir.
Now, I'm saying, did we have help?
See,
We just didn't get this way. We weren't born this way. We were bred this way. Are y'all following me?
yes, sir.
So we're just taking stock of it. Okay, so it says, the second is color or shade. There is intelligence. Sex, size of the plantation, status of the plantations, attitude of owners, whether the slaves live in the valley or they live on the hill, east, west, north, south, have fine hair, coarse hair, or is tall or short. Now that you have a list of differences, I shall give you an outline of action. But before that, I shall assure you that distrust is stronger than trust, that envy is stronger than adulation, that respect or admiration. The black slaves, after receiving this indoctrination, shall carry on and will become self-refueling and self-generating for hundreds of years, maybe even thousands. So here we are, 1712. Here we are, 2016. My question is, do these things exist? Do these things exist in our culture? Do these things exist in our people?
That's right.
Huh?
Yeah.
So you done had help, huh? Don't forget, you must pitch the old black male versus the young black man. Does it exist?
Oh, yeah.
What? Y'all ain't in there with me?
Absolutely.
Does it exist?
Absolutely.
We got a problem now. The young people saying, y'all need to get to the older people. That ain't me. To the old people. You got to get out of the way so we can leave. And I'm saying, leave what? If you don't have the benefit of the previous generation's experience, what are you going to leave? How are you going to leave? Who are you going to know to talk to? Who are you going to know who the enemy is? How are you going to know who your friends are? Now, who controls the music industry?
I don't know, but it ain't us.
It ain't Buff Daddy.
I know who it's not.
Yeah. Well, if you go back to Clyde Davis and all them people before him, Europeans control the music industry. So now y'all ain't gonna like this, but I'm gonna say it anyway because I'm a musician. You had some other help with the disintegration of the relationship between the older brother and the younger brother with hip hop. Because hip hop came along and told you you didn't have to listen to authority. You didn't need leadership anymore. You were leaders. Now, I'm saying, it's like going to your child and telling him, go to work for you. You're 9 years old. What are they going to do? See, we might not want to hear these things because as we get older, we think we're supposed to be leaders. But what do you think leaders are created? By a cultural reality of the passing on of information and energy to sustain oneself through the trials and tribulations, to be able to stand up and motivate and inspire somebody out of the condition that we find ourselves in. That's leadership. But if you ain't taught how to do it, where are you going to get it from? Because it's easy. It's easy for a young person to say, well, look, I think you should let me lead. Well, I ain't got no problems with that. You say, if you equipped, but we need to talk about if you're equipped. I'm not saying you shouldn't be a leader. We just need to talk about if you're equipped, because if you're not equipped, then maybe I can help equip you. Because that's our job, to help equip you. Because the young men are the soldiers. You're supposed to stand up and say, I want to lead. You follow me?
Yes, sir.
You're supposed to stand up for yourself, for your family, for your people. So I just want to. Now, you must use the dark-skinned slaves versus the light-skinned slave. The light-skinned slave versus the dark-skinned slave. You must use the female versus the male. Is that happening?
Yes, it is.
Are we at peace with each other?
No, sir.
Man and female?
No, sir.
Man, everybody got a horror story. But you think that's the way we wanted it to be? When they start manipulating the psychology and the sociology so that we would distrust one another, and we would be envious of one another. How many times we use the scenario of crabs in a barrel? Say, you know, a brother trying to get up or sister trying to get up, is 100 of them trying to pull you down. I'm saying you had help. This is my point. You can't be hard on yourself. You can't be too hard on yourself. The thing is just to get to knowledge. Go ahead.
The thing, I heard that before. They said we're like crabs in a bucket, and when one of us get up, pull the other one down by the leg. We stay in chaos with one another within that barrel, but we haven't came to a conclusion to figure out who built this barrel, because this is not our natural habitat.
That's right. How we got in the barrel.
Yeah.
I'm trying to say you didn't put yourself in the barrel. So you can't be so hard on yourself and you can't be so hard on each other. You understand? The antidote to this is to reverse the process. So now we have to create an environment. If we got distrust, we have to create an environment where we have to learn to trust each other. Now, we ain't saying that's going to be easy. But we're saying that if you got distrust, you got to reverse it to trust. And if you got envy, you got to reverse it to a situation where you are happy for somebody who's elevating or for somebody who's being successful. Now follow me? We had help. Now I'm going to go from here and close out with because to them, that is their moral positioning. Their moral positioning is anything is right that helps sustain the status quo. It ain't the same as yours, that you don't lie, you don't cheat, you don't steal. This system lies, cheats, and steals. That's how it was created. But you don't have the same positioning. They know you don't have the same position. But if you go back to the mortgage scandal, during the mortgage scandal, what they did was they packaged subprime loans with prime loans. That meant that people who had stellar credit, who never missed a payment, they packed, and the people that they sold houses to, that they know was going to default on their houses, they put them together in one package and they sold them to the highest bidder. And normally these were foreigners. And then it would be passed on, they'd buy it from them, they'd buy it from them, until the Ponzi scheme couldn't take no more. But they had help because the insurance companies, these people made money, and the insurance companies insured them against their losses. So they made money from different revenue streams from both sides. But the point was, everybody who played the game right, over 20-some million people lost their houses who thought that they were doing the right thing, paying their bills on time. Y'all remember? Okay. So I just wanted to deal with the moral positioning, because this is how I started out. Their moral positioning is different from yours. That's what you got to understand. That's why you say, I can't believe they would do that. I can't believe that if I go swipe my card at Starbucks and I only have $1 on it, and the drink costs $5, and they pay it, right? But they ain't supposed to pay because I ain't got $5 on the card. It's supposed to reject it. But they take the payment anyway. And then when you get to your bank account, they done charge you $35 for an overdraft on a few dollars. Now you would say, I can't believe they did that. But you gotta believe they did it. Why? Because they did it. They don't think like you do. So I just want to end with this quote from Behold the Pale Horse, and I'm scaling this down right now. It's a lot to this. But I'm trying to help you understand this moral positioning and this amoral positioning of this particular system. that we find ourselves in. And the quandary you find yourselves in, because you're trying to please them, they don't have no moral position. Their moral position is not based upon not being a liar, not being a thief, not being somebody who tells tales, and makes up stuff, and causes problems for other people. They do that as a rule.
Oppressed. That's their morals.
That's their morals.
Oppressed, yeah.
You understand? So you have to make the distinction to see that you got help in the conditions that you exist, that you find yourselves in. So I'm just going to quote from a book called Behold the Pale Horse. So you got Willie Lynch, which you can go back over it now and view it from another perspective, parallax view. We're viewing the same thing, but from another perspective. Y'all follow me? So I'm going to go to the Behold the Pale Horse, and when you put these two together, you'll see the reality of the life and the world that was constructed. It says that in 1954, it was well organized by those in positions of authority. It was only a matter of time, or a few decades, before the general public would be able to grasp and upset the cradle of power. For the very elements of the new silent weapon technology were accessible for a public utopia, as they were for providing a private utopia. They are saying the decisions that they made, they could be used for a better world, but it's just like any technology. It has the ability to be turned into a weapon. So what they did, they turned it into a weapon. I want to go down here. It says in 1954, this was the issue of primary concern. And these were the top people on the planet who got together, the Rothschilds, Bilderberg Group, and all of these people who control what's going on the planet. And when they got together, they said the primary concern, this was the issue of primary concern. Although the so-called, this is the quote, says although the so-called moral issues were raised, in view of the law of natural selection, that's Darwinism. Now, what y'all got to go back and study Darwinism, because that's the system you live under right now. The law of natural selection, or what they call survival of the fittest. You don't live under democracy. You live under Darwinism. So you don't need to study democracy. You need to study Darwinism. That's the system that's governing the planet right now. It says, although the so-called moral issues of doing people right, telling the truth, being honest and all that, say even though that was raised among them, in view of the law of natural selection, it was agreed that a nation or a world of people who would not use their intelligence are no better than animals who do not have any intelligence, and such people are beasts of burden and steaks on the table by choice and consent. This is how they view. Are y'all following me?
Yes, sir.
So,
This is how the people view you. The Trumps and the zillions of people that have come out the woodwork based upon his sentiment, which was their sentiment. He's saying, niggas, go back to your mama. Mexicans, get out, we don't build a wall. Muslims, you can't come in. And he got millions of people. We found out it was millions and millions of people who feel like that. So, although the so-called moral issues were raised, it was decided that all of those who don't use their intelligence are beasts. This is the way they look at you. So a guy, you run down the street, police officer shoots you. He ain't shooting a person, he's shooting a what? Beast. Are y'all following what I'm saying? When they slamming the sisters on the ground, the police and body checking them and all of that type of stuff, they ain't body checking people. They body checking what? So, in closing, I'm just going to say, all of this illustrates is that there are two different moral positions. The moral position for the Eurocentric world is about Eurocentric supremacy. Our moral position, as the Kohen illustrated, is based upon how we fare with God. That's two different positions, ain't it? So, I'm just saying in closing that we need to know these two positions so that you would understand that you're not the problem. But you got to get the information so that we can extricate ourselves from this situation, be able to reverse the process, which is what we've been doing, which is what the classes are and all of that, so that we can intelligently discuss these things and come to the point where we agree to work on our aspect of the condition. We know what they did, but now we got to know what we have to do. Y'all follow me?
Yes.
So I appreciate your indulgence. Just something small, so you understand it's the difference between you and them. And that's what I really want you to get. There's a difference between you and them. And I'm not saying that it's just based on color. Because y'all run into people who look like us who do the same thing. Okay, so we just ain't talking about color. So I want to leave you as I greet you in peace and perfect love. And thank you for indulging me. And you come. We're going to let Kohen come up and introduce our illustrious speaker and ambassador in training.
Do that. We want you to introduce you. We know who we are. We want to know who you are. Brother? We'll start right again, too.
I'm Malik Yahuda ben Israel.
Say,
Malik Yahuda ben Israel.
all right. We're glad to have you. Sister behind you. We're going to go this way. We're going to snake it through.
I'm Gina.
Gina?
Judy, J.E.D. Right.
Judy?
Judy.
Judy.
Yes.
All right.
Levi.
Levi.
Brother TK.
TK.
Brother Ramon.
Ramon.
Yes, sir. Nahum. Nahum.
Nahum. All right.
Kelly.
Kelly. Brother. Oh, wait. I'm sorry. I didn't see you, brother. Podium. Basion. Todd.
Gazar ben Israel.
Ryan, sir.
That?
Ryan.
Ryan?
Yes, sir.
Brother, yeah.
Sunjata.
Jimmy Ross. And here, the great brain trust. You got
Daniel, I'm here.
Prince Amiel.
I really got here this way.
I want you to give yourselves a round of applause. We also want to thank y'all. We want to thank y'all for waking us up this morning. And in waking us up, we want to thank Him for giving us, according to our tradition, a clean and polished soul. Because throughout the day, it's going to get a little dense in it. And when I go to sleep, you get a chance to take it back, polish it up,
and give it back to me to start it all over again. So we want to thank him for that. Hallelujah.
Now we're going to bring up our speaker. Our speaker, Moray Yosef.
First and foremost, giving all honor and praise to the Most High God, heavens and earth, the creator of the universe, God is Israel. We thank you for all his prophets, our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. We thank him and bless him that we were able to get the holy Torah from Moses. We thank him for Yeshua, or what most people know as Jesus, for the new gospel, and for Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, for the Holy Quran. We thank Ben Ami Hamashiach, our spiritual leader, who has the spiritual fortitude and the courage to lead out of North America and return back to the Holy Land. We thank his greatest and strongest student, Prince Isaiah Ben Israel, his holy ambassador, who brought that message all around the world, continue to spread. His holy team, Nasi, Amiel, the holy Rabbi Amram, and most importantly, all of you, the vision. Without you, we would not be here. As I start every class, I want to thank you all for being here, because you could have been any other place on the planet, but you decided to be here tonight. And that's something that we do not take for granted, something that we do not take lightly. And I'm going to be quick tonight, because I see it's raining and it's getting late, but it's something I want to discuss before I get into the topic today. And I want to discuss the imperative importance of why we are here today. This is more than just a room where we come together to meet and talk about the problems that's been prevalent for the past 6,000 years. This is more than that. This is a room where we come together and we build spiritual and intellectual equity. This is a place where we come together and build brotherhood, sisterhood, and start to create an environment that's conducive to the mind that we don't desperately need. So saying that, I want to talk about some of the things that why it's a necessity that we're here, like the Nasi had so profoundly spoke about before, and combating this Willie Lynch syndrome, and this unity, and this distrust, and this disdain that we have. We have a war that's being waged against us at this particular moment. This is serious. That's why we're here. We are literally at war right now, whether we are unconscious of it, cognitive of it, or participating in it. There's people on this planet that is trying to destroy and wipe our memory off so we don't never be here again. And not just us as black people, but those who possess the mind and spirit of God. That's the real threat. It's more than just a color. It's more than just a place for origin. It's those who have the ability to understand the spirit of God and apply that spirit for the benefit of the whole of humanity. So hear me with that. I want to start off with something that ties right along with the Willie Lynch. Listen, this is critical. It is the 5-monkey experiment. Anybody ever heard of that? My brother right there. Now this is imperative. Because they try to, when they ever get these experiments and they give you the truth, they always try to sugarcoat it and say, well, it really didn't happen like that. It was certain variables that was changed. It was certain things that just wasn't true and they're fabricated to try to accentuate a point. But we know better than that. Because we know the reality that we face that is so similar, that's so relevant, that's so identical to this very thing that I'm about to read. So we know that it ain't something that just happened, that it's consistently happened, past, present, and will happen in the future if we do not change this. But I'm here to say, Willie Lynch, your time is up. The 300 years is done. So let's get a round of applause for Willie Lynch finally being dead. But if we're going to end this oppression, we have to be understanding and conscious of what we're facing against. We have to not just go with ourselves, which is the first commandment that we have to understand and embrace, but we got to know who we're facing. We got to know who's the opposition. We have to know who is trying to destroy us from the inside out. So it says, a group of scientists placed 5 monkeys in a cage, and in the middle, a ladder with a banana on the top. Every time a monkey went up the ladder, scientists would soak the rest of the monkeys with cold water. So now you see, they're building up that division. Every time somebody would aspire to reach the top, like we said, that crab in the barrel syndrome. See, you gotta see the symbolisms here. The monkeys represent us, the conscious people, God-fearing people, trapped in a cage.
The bananas representing freedom, representing life, representing substance and sustenance. That's what we all aspire to. It's naturally, innately in us. After a while, every time a monkey would start up the ladder, the others would pull it down and beat it. Is that not what we're facing? So they can't lie to us and say that this ain't happening. They can't lie to say this wasn't real. This is literally going on at this particular moment as I speak to you. Every time somebody acquires freedom, every time somebody is trying to change his predicament and change his situation, we now internally grab each other down, pull each other down, try to destroy and assassinate each other's character. This is what we do to each other. After a time, no monkey would dare to try climbing this ladder. Now it's starting to work. It's starting to sink into their biological structure now. Chemically, they're being changed and altered. Because now that membrane, that pineal gland that searches and yearns for freedom is being diminished. It's being destroyed. And it's being totally encaged in a cycle of fear, of doubt, of deception. So no monkey will try dare to climb up this ladder, no matter how great the temptation was, no matter how bad you see your situation and your circumstances. You get to a point where you are so reluctant to even aspire to be free that you say, it is what it is. Or it's always been that way, and that's the way it's going to stay. You got to hear this. These are concepts that we have adopted and accepted and continue to perpetuate. The scientists then decided to replace one of the monkeys. The first thing that this new monkey did was start to climb up the ladder. Now we got new blood now. We got these new children. We got these new generations. They're ready.
That spark of life.
The spark of life. It's innately in them at birth. No matter what their parents did, you automatically come out the womb searching for that God essence, that God nature. And you're going to aspire to be free because that's who you are. You are a God. You are a creator. You are the perpetuation of life. So why wouldn't you want an environment that's conducive to that? So as soon as he goes up the ladder, the first thing the new monkey was, he starts to go up the ladder. And immediately, the others pull him down and beat him. Starting that cycle again. Now if you notice, the scientists aren't soaking the monkeys anymore with water.
Right.
That's the process that stopped a long time ago. Now we have entered the equation selfing, self-demise, self-spite. So anything that looks like us, we see the negligence of not gathering together, not unifying and fortifying each other, and it's going up there together as a unit because we're doing so many things individualistically that we see, well, you can't do it, none of us are going to do it. Or if you go up there, we go bear the consequences. Hear me tonight, because tonight this is the solution. This is the answer for the problem that we've been facing for so long. After several beatings, the new monkey learned never to go up that ladder. So now I see blaming him now. He ain't budging no more.
Right.
He know what the play is. He's like, I ain't trying that. So now check this out. Even though there was no evidence or no reason not to, aside from the beatings.
Aside from the beatings.
Thought the beatings wasn't enough. But it was enough because you got the point. But think about this. We are so afraid to live that we choose death over life. We are so afraid to live that we consciously choose death over life. That's a psychological screw up right there. See, now you see why this God in you is being suppressed. Because they know you have the power to change this whole dynamic on this planet just by activating truth over deception. So I want you to see the chemical reaction that's going on in these monkeys. No. I want to see the chemical reaction that's going on within us. Let's make it real, guys. In this very room, I want you to see the chemical reaction that's going on with us in this room. The second monkey was substituted and the same occurred. The first monkey that participated in the beatings of the second monkey and the third monkey was changed and the same was repeated, fourth and fifth and so on, that finally all of them were replaced. So none of them are the original five that actually experienced the soaking of the water. None of us are those who actually experienced Jim Crow South. Well, a few, I'm sorry. But I'm saying a few of my generation. None of us have experienced it. None of us have experienced chattel slavery. But yet and still, acquiring freedom is the last thing on our mind. We despise the banana at this point. That We getting stupid drunk, like the young people say. We picking these things. We choosing the wrong men. We choosing the wrong women. We eating the wrong foods. We wearing the wrong clothes. You said clothes, how does that make a difference? Because it represents a culture. It represents an identity. It's an expression of oneself. That's why they have to suppress and change your culture. The first thing they did was take you out of an environment that was conducive to what you had been developing. You didn't just start wearing these clothes for no reason. There was a spiritual aspect to go along with these clothes. That's why everything you wore came from the earth. That's why they changed it out with these synthetic clothes that we wear today. So then you wouldn't be natural anymore. You would be an abnormality. You gotta hear me out tonight. Okay, what was left was a group of 5 monkeys without ever having received a cold shower, continue to beat up any monkey who continued to attempt to climb up the ladder. It was possible, if this is possible, which it is, because we can talk to each other, to ask the monkeys, why beat up all those who attempt to climb up the ladder? And what would be their likely answer? Anybody know? I don't know. It's just how things go around here. Nah, no. That's why we created this situation. Because things can't go like that anymore. Things can't continue to be repeated and repeated and repeated again. It has to be a different cycle. Yes, sir.
At this point, we've internalized the conditions of oppression.
Yes, sir.
To the point where it's not a bad thing.
You're absolutely
Cigarettes
correct.
gonna kill you, but it's not that bad.
For those who were here 3 weeks ago, we did a discussion, revolutionary versus evolutionary. And what I wanted to really depict on revolutionary versus evolution is the main word in revolution is revolve. And those know what revolve means. It's something that continually goes in a circle. That's what we've been doing. This is how things go around here. We continually go around in a circle, We haven't evolved. We haven't left the dynamic of just being oppressed and becoming free. And we can't necessarily say because, well, we don't have nobody to show us the way, show us the light. Why do you think I start off every class saying, I want to give honor and praise to Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Jesus or Yeshua, Muhammad, Ben Ami, we have men and women who've and so many others. Forgive me if I'm missing anybody. But even you, there are men and women who come on this planet to disseminate truth, to activate that God gene in us. But what we do, we pull them right down that ladder. FBI didn't kill Malcolm X. They put the program in place. We did. Because we didn't have the ability to support and fortify and unify to strengthen our brother. They didn't destroy the character of Elijah Muhammad, Marcus Garvey. We did. We got to start taking responsibility of this now because we know. Before we did not know. We were just a byproduct of something that was forcing us. Now we have the information. That's what this room is. It gives us the intellectual equity to change our situation. So I want to read something that's in line with what Nasib was saying. And the idea of what Western civilization based its world and its realm on. So I want you to understand this is so imperative because we look at religion the wrong way. We was having a conversation about this other day. Brother said, well, I don't believe in no religion. I'm spiritual. I said, okay, that's good. Well, what does it mean to be spiritual? Right. I believe in God. That's God. You know, God. No. Spirituality is a science. Spirituality is the essence of who we are. That means you have to apply spirituality to get a certain result or outcome. You can't just say I'm spiritual and think things are supposed to go the way they should be. No, you have to do certain things. You have to apply certain laws and certain dictates so that you can get the benefit of being a God. That's why we was given these scriptures. They were a springboard for us to ascend to our higher selves. Because we became a wayward people, like we are today. But this is going to change. So religion is just, in its more purest essence, not what today has deemed it to be. Because it's been destroyed by Western civilization, but it is the way of governance. When we say we are Hebrew Israelites, we're not talking about we know sin, we know code, we know religion, that don't want nobody to be part of. No, we are a people that occupies a land, which is Israel, and Hebrew is just a form of government that we implement to perpetuate our culture. So anybody and everybody is already a Hebrew. Why do you think the Minister Louis Farrakhan always say that you all are Muslims? Not because of what you've been told a Muslim is, because Islam simply means to submit to the will of God. That's why I always give praise and honor to these people that come forward, because the message has always been the same. That we have to be in the essence of God. That's why Jesus, or what we call Yeshua, is so important, because he said, I come as my Father, not because immaculate conception really happened. That was told so that we could not ever reach our essence. And we can always say, well, my mom got pregnant by my daddy, so I can't be Jesus. I can't be son of God. No. Joseph, excuse my language, but he actually went inside of Mary. He actually impregnated her. But it's a spirit that he had in him that gave him the essence of God, and he understood that from a young age. But he had to have a culture to perpetuate that. Somebody had to teach Jesus that he was of God, and that he had God in everything that he did, if he did or perpetuated these laws and these mandates. So I'm saying the same thing to us. We have that ability and capability already within us now. And so the class I'm talking about today is called chemical castration. The reason why I'm covering chemical castration is because, like we just discussed, having the essence of God in us, somebody wants to suppress that and totally eliminate that so that you can never reach your full potential. Big Newell Brisky said at one point it was easy to control people, a million people, more than it was easy to kill a million people. Now he said it's easy to kill a million people than controlling a million people. But now they get to the point where they can do both at a will. And it's through chemical castration. From back when the Willie Lynch to buck breaking, if anybody's familiar with that term, when they used to take the slaves in front of all the women, all the children, beat them mercilessly to the inch of death, tie them up to a tree, and then sodomize them. This is what they did to us. Why would they do that? Besides their sensational appetite for sex. But that's another conversation. Listen, I'm serious though. It's because they chemically have to change our molecular concepts and our molecular structure. Chemically, they understood inserting, dehumanizing you, and emasculating you will make and deactivate that God gene in you. Because to be a God is contrary to those things. So they have to. And then they have to give that image to your woman and to your children so that you would never have any respect in the household. That you would never have no strength and no authority. Not to be a dictator, but to guide and structure your family. Which is the first mandate of a man of God. And that's why there's no real men in the houses now. It's isolated areas. But this is why we create this environment. So that now the new children that come up, we can cultivate them in the sense that they understand their very nature and their very essence. Okay, I wanted to read something out of a book called Tragedy and Hope. Tragedy and Hope was written by an author named Carl Cridley. If anybody's not familiar with him, he's the one who was a hero and a teacher to the Clintons and a lot of the presidents of this time. So this is what he wrote because this is what he not just knows, but he implements. And this is what he taught to what people call the first black president, Bill Clinton. Which is really, he's really a murderer and a hater of anybody who has that God gene. So I want my brother Daniel to start. The most important parts. And that was the snake that saw the beast and tried to come into this side. Everybody, man, I want me to give you this message tonight. I'm going to give it to you anyway. You hear me? Those the most important parts of what?
The most important parts of Western technology can be listed under 4 headings.
The most important parts of Western technology can be listed under what? 4 major parts. What is the first and most important advent from Western world to this present day world?
Ability to kill.
Hold on, what? Stop. Who wrote this book one time? Because I don't think y'all heard me. A gentleman named Carl Cridley wrote this book. Tragedy and Hope. Our tragedy is their hope. It's simple. That's simple. There ain't no complicated title. We don't got to decipher it. Our tragedy is their hope. First definition again.
Ability to kill. Development of weapons.
The development of weapons. The ability to kill. The development of weapons. They've turned all of us into weapons against each other. The real weapons of mass destruction are us and our inability to activate truth, to accept deception and lies, and to perpetuate and disseminate to everybody we know. Y'all hear me tonight? Under that, they're going to use 3 other things that they say that they gave to the world for a devious reason. Go to the next one.
Ability to preserve life, development of sanitation and medical services.
This is why chemical castration is so critical now. Because the preservation of whose life and the destruction of whose life. This is critical. Because the title is tragedy and hope, so somebody has to have a tragic ending for somebody else to have a good ending. So if they're going to preserve their life, they're going to destroy our lives. So now, through medicines, vaccinations, which we're going to cover tonight, through the food, well, we won't get to that point, but through vaccinations, through the chemtrails, through the medicines or the illusion of medicines, but really the poisons that we digest and take every day, these are critical. Because these are weapons that have been used to destroy us. Man. Your bleach, your fluoride, your spray, your air freshener, the aerosols that you put on your hair.
That air freshener is something.
You literally are destroying your very nature. So you think because you ain't laid up in the bed, can't move, and can't walk, and can't talk, that you ain't sick. That's the greatest deception they ever gave us. It wasn't that the devil don't exist, it's that the God don't exist in you. That's the greatest deception that we gave us as a people. That you don't have God in you. That's why everything you do has to go to some other external God. Has to pray to Jesus, pray to Muhammad, pray to this, pray to that. The Jews won't even say the name of God. You understand? This is critical. You can't have God in you. Because now you have the power to define. Now you cannot be a slave. The ability to activate God in you makes you impossible to be made a slave. So, go to the third one.
Ability to produce both food and industrial goods.
Okay, we know the creator and the environment produces food. So if they're producing food, it has to be what? Genetically modified organisms. And we all know how that destroys us as a people. And destroys our health, and destroys our babies, and babies' babies, and babies' babies. That's why you have 10-year-old women that have big old breasts and big old bottoms, and you think they're 25 years old. You gotta understand this. This ain't no joking matter. That which perpetuates this perversion in our society, because now you have grown men lusting after young women. They're aware of it, they're cognitive of it because they see what's on TV and they see what's attractive, and they living in poverty, they feel they living in poverty, so they want to come up however they can. So if their breast and their butt can get them in a car, get them a ride, get them some money, get them some new shoes, they're going to do so at 10 years old. This is what genetically modified foods have done to us. We just keep looking at it, oh, I got bad health. No, it's greater than that. Look at the psychological and chemical damages that it has done to us. Chemical castration. Go to the next one.
Improvements in transportation and communications.
Okay. Allows them to go all over this planet, disseminating lies and deception, destroying our people. This is what their transportation system does. That's why it's so imperative they have these plane systems, these boat, these maritime systems, so they can go all over this planet, disseminate lies and deception, and destroying the peoples of the earth that have their God gene in them. What's the next one? That's the last one. Perfect. So now, we're all familiar with COINTELPRO. So, understanding COINTELPRO, we always hear the term, prevent the rise of the black Messiah. For he what? And unify militant masses. But there was more to that than just that point. He had a whole program that they had developed. And I just want to cover some of these things because it goes in line with the 5 monkeys, and it's going to go right in line with chemical castration. So, I would read, but hold on, brother to do so this time. And I wanted to start. FBI sets goals for COINTELPRO. Start off under goals. Hear me out now, this is critical.
For maximum effectiveness of the counterintelligence program and to prevent wasted effort, long-range goals are being set.
Now, this is Willie Lynch, 20th century. Right? COINTELPRO is Willie Lynch, 20th century. When we go deep into it, Homeland Security is COINTELPRO, 21st century. Rap music, COINTELPRO, 21st century. This culture that we adopted, these social medias, this COINTELPRO, 21st century. Okay, look at these as just harmless inventions that's been created. Now when they control the minds of millions and billions of people, nothing can be in producing a good manner with this world, and they say they want their first mandate is to kill and destroy and develop weapons. So why would they create a system not to unify the people, but to destroy the people? That's why it's created. And we keep using and participating in these things because we feel our own selfish benefits from them. But all we doing is disseminating discord amongst each other. What's the thing that Yah says is an abomination to our people?
Discord between the brothers.
And the sisters. Sisters hate each other. Nobody trusts nobody. That's why they say there is what? That's why Yah hates discord amongst the brothers and the sisters, because in unity there is strength.
Right.
This finger, yeah, I might be able to poke you out, but with this fist, I can cause some damage. And with this hand, I can do so much healing. Even more importantly, I can pull you up out of danger. I can save you from a burning fire, pull you out of the lake if you're drowning. Don't let me have two hands. I can hold the world up. This unity is the number one mandate for this world used to destroy us. Keep going, brother.
A truism that is no less valid for all its triteness. An effective coalition of black nationalist groups might be the first step towards a real black revolutionary army in America.
This is critical. And my dole is real, he's really aware of this. This is what he was part of, this is what he studied. So correct me if I'm wrong, but when we said that Hebrew Israelite is what again? I forgot what I said. See if anybody listening.
It's a government.
It's a government. So what they said they wanted to stop the creating? Black militant what?
A black revolutionary army in America.
No, it's a word. Nationalistic. You become a nation. Being a Hebrew Israelite makes you a nation, gives you an identity. That's why the lecture said you can be a Pan-Africanist, and it's good to connect back to Africa, but to them it doesn't have no validity because it doesn't take you to a particular place. They govern their word in nations. So who's going to accept it? I'm a Pan-Africanist. Does Kenya accept it? Does Uganda? Because Kenya and Uganda is two different nations, two different mandates, two different cultures, two different societies. It's over 70 different countries in the continent of Africa. You got to understand this. So when we said we was an Israelite, which is a part of Northeast Africa, gives us a Pan-African, but it gives us a place of sovereignty, gives us a place of protection. So when we understand in the 1950s, 60s, when the Irish and the Italian were raising up, the reason they were able to get certain jobs in the police forces, in the fire departments, in the Cook counties, not just because they were Europeans, but they had a nation to protect them. You gotta hear, they had a nation to protect them. The Asian people, they have a nation to protect them. You do not have a nation to protect you. And so 50 years ago, when we established to get a nation to protect you, we have to destroy it. We have to discredit it. But them Hebrews, all they want to do is get a whole bunch of women. Right. All they want to do is run off with too much. Whatever they can say. Shit, they kill me tomorrow. I get in a class, and the first thing they're going to say is, well, he probably was drunk driving. Anybody know me, I ain't tasted no alcohol in 7 years. Shit, I don't eat white sugar. But you don't believe it. That's right. Well, he already died of AIDS. Well, he thought he was cute and handsome with that curly hair. So I knew he was going to catch something. This is what you want to say about me tonight, if it happens. I'm adding some levity to it, but I'm serious. This is the disdain we have for each other. This is the hate that we have for each other. Because we don't want to activate the God within us. Keep reading, brother.
Prevent the rise of a Messiah who can unify and electrify the militant black nationalist movement. Malcolm X might have been.
Prevent that spirit that could activate truth amongst us. Prevent the Honorable Louis Minister of Affairs, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Ben Abi Hamashiach, Prince Asiel Ben Israel, the Nasi Gamios, the Rabbi Almas, every one of you in this room has that spirit. Prevent that. The Honorable Marcus Garvey. Prevent that. Because they have the ability to activate truth within you, in whatever format that they use. We're not getting dictated to a format. If it works, it works. So we say, we got something that may possibly can work for you, because it worked for us. But we need unity. We need strength in numbers to produce it, to apply it. Can't nobody do nothing alone. That's the greatest exception. Well, I'm independent. I do stuff on my own. Wait, let's women say all the time, I don't need no man. You don't need no what? Okay. Build you a nation by yourself, woman. Build it. But shit, man, you can't either. You need your woman. You gotta protect your woman. You gotta provide for your woman. You gotta love them and care for them and show them the connectivity. Enmity between man and woman has to end. Keep on, bro. Go down to the next point.
Prevent violence on the part of black nationalist groups. This is of primary importance and is, of course, a goal of our investigative activity.
They have to prevent violence because that's the same instrument that they use to control and kill us. So they feel that is going to be the reaction that we use. So yeah, I can come in and tell y'all, let's get some guns, let's go run up the place, and let's go kill some people. But if you ever read the book of Ephesians in the New Testament, 6 and 18, 6th chapter, 18th verse. It said, we wrestle not against flesh and blood. Our problem is not people. It is spiritual wickedness. There's rulers of the dark world, I'm sorry. There's principalities. Let's start there first. There's principalities, rulers of the dark world, and spiritual wickedness in high places. Y'all didn't hear me tonight. So I have to come here and assess the spiritual, psychological detriments that we're facing first, so that we can solve our own minds and our hearts first, reactivate the heart brain. So now we don't need no weapon. Truth is what we're going to build with. And we're going to be a light that's going to disseminate and destroy the darkness that's around us. That's by standing on truth. Man, you crazy. You ain't going to make it do that. Watch it happen. It's happening. Watch it already happen. You got to hear me now. The power of activating God within you is the answer. It's the answer. Keep going.
It should also be a good goal of the counterintelligence program to pinpoint potential troublemakers and neutralize them before they exercise their potential for violence.
Yeah, always right.
Because their first mandate is to kill and maim and to create weapons. Keep going.
Prevent militant black nationalist groups and leaders.
Militant, organized, structured, disciplined. Militant. That's what the next thing means. What does it mean? Fighting. What it means, you have structure, you have order, you have discipline. This is what we need as black men and women going forward. None of us have no discipline. We don't have no structure or no order in our lives. Tell me what you do every day besides go to your job and wake up and eat. That's it. But who's that benefiting? You? I got to pay my bills. Right, brother? But is it changing your detriment? Is it taking you out of a cycle of death and devastation? Because, so you think you're surviving, you're really destroying yourself because you're participating in your own annihilation. What food are you buying? What jobs are you working for? Who are you working for? What you working for? The conversations you have. You ain't looking that deep into the situation. You're just going day by day, accepting the norms of society. But we're talking about a society that was the foundational mandate is I got to keep pressing this point. Is to kill and destroy. To develop weapons. Keep on, brother.
It says prevent militant black nationalist groups and leaders from gaining respectability by discrediting them to three separate segments of the community.
3 separate segments. So now we got to disunify again. We got to discredit him. Yeah, he ain't. So now see, he ain't what he said he is. I already did this, this, and this. They never said it to him. They never validated it. But they know if they just put it out there, it's going to stick. Because we have people that believe anything. Some of us still believe Jesus was right. So you damn right we're going to believe he did that. Keep going. I ain't going to put you on nerve, but I got to tell the truth. You may not admit it. Oh, I know. Look at me like, isn't you Googling right now? Is Jesus really white? I know what you're doing.
So they said color don't matter.
Yeah, color don't matter. Well, if it don't matter, then why you change his damn color? In the Bible it say hair what? Hair what?
Hair wool.
That's like this. Feet, that's what?
Black.
That's no problem. Might be a little darker than you not seeing, but that's no problem. Keep going.
The goal of discrediting black nationalists must be handled tactically in 3 ways. You must discredit those groups and individuals first, the responsible Negro community.
Okay, the bourgeoisie. Discredit them. They gonna ruin your jobs and your status position. President, you really can't deal with the niggas like that because you're president for the country. You don't really owe them nothing. Keep going.
Second, they must be discredited to the white community, both the responsible community and to the liberals, who have vestige and sympathy for militant black nationalists.
This is critical because
Simply because
hold
they are
on. We've been taught to hate white people, but that doesn't mean hate yourself. I'm the most pro-black person you ever meet. But we gotta understand, we have a lost knowledge. We have to have relationships with people that can help and assist us. So why would you cut your own arm off? Why would you cut your own nose off to spite the face? We all invested in this planet somehow, some way. So we all gotta be the benefit of it. We gotta be the light to everybody. We gotta self-help, but we gotta be the light for everybody. We gotta lead by example from now on. Keep going.
Third, these groups must be discredited in the eyes of Negro radicals, the followers of the movement.
Other revolutionaries, the congregation. So why do you think every black movement, first and the second, have to be have this unity between the two? Excuse me. Every time, from our own personal community to the Nation of Islam, to the movement of the UNIA, so forth, so on, Noble Drew Ali and the Morris Temple. Every group, the same tactics being used, and we're not being conscious of it. What we think we're impervious to these things? This system has a visceral hate and disdain for you. A visceral hate and disdain. Only way you can overcome that is by an unconquerable love for yourself and for each other. That's the only solution. Keep going.
The last area requires entirely different tactics from the first two. Publicity about violent tendencies and radical statements merely enhances black nationalists to the last group. It adds respectability in a different way. A final goal should be to prevent the long-range growth of militant black organizations, especially among youth.
Yes, especially among youth. Now why you see this class is so perfect, chemical castration, because it's an attack on the youth. It's definitely the youth. You've been attacked from the womb. From the womb. How to attack on the mother, food that she eats, stuff that she hears, the environment that she is. You're being attacked on the womb. I should get that baby up. Go down to Planned Parenthood. Go get an abortion. So that starts already into the mother's mind. So now she's already thinking about killing off the God that's within her. You gotta hear me now. She's thinking about killing off the God within her so she can never have no salvation. At the womb, we are being attacked. So an attack on the youth. Is there anything? Okay, this is critical. Now I want to go to scriptures. I'll be remiss if I don't use any scripture. Because we got to understand the relevance of the scriptures. I like to break the scriptures down in three aspects. Historically, allegorically, and prophetically. Those three dynamics allows you to give the scriptures in its total picture. So you don't get stuck on.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
3-4.
Yes, sir. So you understand its totality. So now you don't get lost in what it's saying and you get all discombobulated. Because these things have to be deciphered and decoded. It's been retranslated over and over again so it can deceive you. But if you have the God within you, you can be able to decipher and decode and get the truth that's in it. So I want to start off with the book of Exodus, 1st chapter, 10th verse.
Come on, let us deal wisely.
Let us deal wisely with us, people. Let us deal wisely with the people of God. For
lest they multiply.
Let's say multiply. That's why eugenics was a key component in American and Western society. The first mandate is to kill and maim and destroy and to create weapons. Eugenics is a weapon. It's ethnic cleansing at the highest level. To prevent the rise of black society who electrify and unify the militant masses. Keep going.
And it comes to pass that when there falleth out any war, they join also unto our enemies.
So now they would activate troops with all the oppressed people around the world and bring them together. Because we know white supremacy is the minority, not the majority. They had us believe that they're the majority, that they are omnipotent and all-seeing and all that. Oh, only because we're so disunified and fractional that reality has become acceptable to us. Quite the contrary. We are the majority. It's really more God-fearing, God-loving people on this planet than those who hate God. The thing is, you have to be put in an environment that allows you to produce it. That's the key. Jump down to 122, next page. So what was the answer to that? Let's deal wisely before they multiply and join against the course of 22.
And Pharaoh charged all his people, saying, every son,
every male, him, all these young men in here. The young boy right there, this is the mandate they have. Keep reading.
every son that is born, ye shall cast into the river.
Cast into the river. They must be destroyed.
And every daughter ye shall save alive.
Let's keep the daughters now. Because we know we can't reproduce and we can't reprocreate. So we need that gene, that God gene that they carry every single day in those ovaries. Let's get that for ourselves. So that we can continue to control and perpetuate the world that we want to. That's why there's been such an attack on the men so they can bring in the women. Not because they love you, they care for you. It's because they want to perpetuate their society. And you're the vehicle that they use. So with that being said, I want to go I'm going to go to another chapter in the Bible. Before I go to that, I want to read Taconomia. Now, this is from a scientist that's okay, this is a science at UC Berkeley. Everybody's familiar with University of California, Berkeley. It's one of the most prestigious colleges in the country. And this is a brother that studied, he worked for a chemical pesticide company called Syngenta. And he studied herbicides, and a herbicide called Atrazine. And I want you to hear what Atrazine does. Started the time on here with the science. This is what we're up against now, chemical castration.
Tyrone Hayes, a scientist at the University of California, Berkeley, was hired by agribusiness giant Syngenta to study the herbicide Atrazine, which is used on half the corn crops in the U.S.
But everything made out of corn, everything we use is corn, and other crops as well, so everything. So we say everything basically, because everything got corn and soy products in it. Keep going.
As well as Christmas trees, farms, and golf
Christmas
courses.
trees, golf courses, all the things we like to enjoy doing. So that means if we're using golf courses, they're using them in baseball fields, soccer fields, football fields. Let's be serious now. They ain't gonna stop at golf courses, anything they got grass. Let's be sincere about this. Keep going.
What Hayes found was exactly what Syngenta didn't want to hear.
This is what they don't want you to know. Keep going.
In studying Atrazine's effects on frogs, he discovered that the pesticide has a destructive effect on the endocrine system. Ready for this? According to Hayes, it apparently interferes with male development.
It interferes with this male development, the suppression of that God gene, the suppression of that God spirit. Keep going.
Causes males to switch gender to female.
Cause males to switch genders. Why is that important? Because if you're acting like a woman, you can't be a God. That's what you were created for. You were created to be a man that produce and to continue to perpetuate life and to perpetuate his mandates. But if you're confused about who you are, sexually, chemically, you become null and void. You don't have no purpose anymore. You can't produce your desired effects. This is critical. Chemical castration, destroy the God gene. It's more than just a homosexual thing. It's to destroying the God in you so that you can't replicate yourself. Hit me out to me.
It says males to switch gender to female and develop ovaries and eggs.
Ooh, that's deep. Why do you think Viagra is a $1 billion company?
Please switch that.
And who's buying Viagra more than ever now? It's black elderly men.
So,
Yes, sir, please.
Viagra does that?
No, Viagra does not. But I'm saying that's why Viagra, see, they all work together. They're all in unison. So they create another artificial pills to give you bonus, to make it, to try to supersede what they've done to the system. So you think it's something that, well, I'm just getting old and I can't, get an erection. No. Testosterone is the essence of God in you. And if you can't produce testosterone, you can't produce the God gene within you. So nothing artificial can give you that. Please, you can.
Pesticide does that too. It
What's all the
attacks
pesticide?
the endocrine system.
Which is the reproductive system.
It's one of the most important systems in your body for reproduction and to perpetuate being your whatever sex you are.
Right.
So if you're a female, it keeps you a female. And you don't grow a beard and all that stuff. If you are a male, you stay a male and you don't grow breasts and your voice doesn't change. The endocrine system.
And also in the endocrine system is what we call the pancreas, which is secretes insulin, purifies the kidney, blood, all these things. So why do you see why we have such a high rate of diabetes? This is an attack on our very essence. You gotta understand this. You destroy your internal organs, which houses the soul. So we become soulless as people. So this is more than just some pesticides and herbicides and chemicals. This is the destruction of the God gene that is in us. Keep reading, bro.
Drops testosterone.
Drops the God gene in testosterone, what produces your energy and the strength to keep on every day and to prevail. That's what testosterone does. You don't have testosterone, you're weak and you're unable to produce what you were supposed to be mandated to do. Keep going.
Chemically castrate. Male frogs.
Chemically castrate. I want to stop right there because I want to break down the word chemical castrate. So we all understand what we're doing. And then we're going to go right back to this. I ain't got long. I'm going to wrap up so I'm going to get my y'all 9:30. But just bear with me for a second. Okay, go to castrate. Chemical is a process that allows your molecular structure to be intact. Is any chemical process that produces life? Chemical. But I want you to understand what castrate does. What does castrate? So when we talk about chemical castration,
To remove the testicles of.
remove the testicles.
To remove the ovaries
Okay,
of.
we understand that part. Go to the next part.
To deprive of strength or
To
vigor.
deprive of strength and vigor, so you do not have the will to be free anymore. You don't have the desire to acquire God anymore. You don't have the desire or the will or the admiration to create an environment that's conducive to the lifestyle that you innately want and desire. This is what castration does to you. It destroys who you are in all aspects. Keep reading. There's another word. It's a word that's related to it. Right there. Boulderize. Boulderize. I want to break down boulderize. It gives another word. It's, at the end of that, it says boulderize. What does boulderize mean? It's right there. Now this is critical too. They sink these words in, so nobody really looks up words in definitions for the most part. You read the definition, and you see a word you don't know, you just accept it. It's in there for a reason. Well, it is in there for a reason.
Boulderize. Remove material that is considered improper or offensive from a text or account, especially with the result that it becomes weaker or less effective.
Remove your testosterone, you become less effective as a guy. Destroying the ovary system of a woman makes you less effective as a woman. Now you can't have the mandate that you were given by the Almighty God. You don't have the ability to change your situations, to change your realities. This is what we're participating. This is the war that we're facing right now, chemical castration. Go back to the other part. I want to finish just real quick what the brother was saying. So now we all understand what chemical castration means. Everybody with me still? Hallelujah. I know it's long, but we got to go through this stuff so we all be clear. Spiritual and intellectual, equity. That's the key. We all be intelligent and aware of our situation, our scenario, so we all know how to overcome it. Everybody's equal. Everybody. Just because I'm over speaking, I'm no smarter, no dumber than anybody else in this room. We all have to be the same intelligence. We all have to be at the same level. They understand it. So when they see us, they see each other. They know these people are serious. They don't play. You can't divide and conquer with them. They are one. This was the first mandate given in Deuteronomy 6:4. Hear, O God, our Lord.
Lord our God is one.
It's one. That means we must be one as a people. Synergy, conducive to life. Synergy produces life.
Chemically castrates male frogs and later leads to the development of homosexual behavior as the gender-altered frogs begin to prefer same-sex mating.
So they tell you that, well, I was born this way. You probably were. But something produced it. You had hope.
Get some help.
We are demineralized. You hear me? We are demineralized, and because we do not have the testosterone, men go searching and seeking for it. So the only way you're going to find it is another man. But the only problem is, he's more than testosterone. So y'all in the cycle of just passing around very low levels of testosterone and high levels of estrogen. So you stay stuck in the same cycle.
Revolution.
Yes, revolution. You revolve around in circle. It's deep, but it's serious.
Same thing with women. Same thing with women.
Absolutely. Now you have to understand this chemical castration that we face as a people that has destroyed us. You don't have your own mind like that in this world. Not unless you come into an environment like this that we can be conducive and promotes that mind, that helps that mind grow and prosper and develop. But everything out there is to suppress your mind, which is your most strongest God mind, which is your heart. Keep going, brother.
Hayes' research suggests that atrazine has the same effects on humans.
Oh, so it ain't just about frogs. Now we get into what my brother Daddy always say, we get into the meat. We get into the meat of the subject. It's designed not for no frogs. He was testing frogs. Because he a brother, he got a conscience, so he can't test humans. But the real mandate was for humans. Frogs don't eat corn. They don't play on golf courses and football fields. You do. We do. It was created for us to destroy us. Come, let us deal wisely with them before they multiply.
However, before 1,000 headlines like "Shocker, corn makes you gay" are launched into the blog sphere, I'll note that while researchers can often switch sexual orientation in animals by altering hormone levels, there are significant differences in hormone levels between gay and straight humans. In fact, gay men often have a higher testosterone levels than straight men, not lower. Yet, I'll also note that a 2007 study found that testosterone levels have massively dropped in American males since early 20th century.
See, they try to confuse you all the time. See, you see this guy? They say, well, it has more. No, don't say that. How you gonna say that when there's been a rise of homosexual men and you saying the testosterone's dropping in the men?
You just said
You just contradicted yourself. But see, this is what the Europeans try to do. This white supremacy world tries to do. It does.
mix it out with
Mix it out with the truth. Now, this ain't what the brother said. This is what they said. They start talking about the brother now. So the reason I have to keep reading this, not to contradict what I'm saying, so you can see the contradiction in this world. See what we fighting against. They give you a little truth, but then they bombard it with lies, so you get caught up. You don't know what to believe. Now you look at yourself as a man. I was straight man, but I got enough testosterone. Now you start thinking you gay. You thinking you doing that. You see the mental retardation that we suffer.
That's right.
This is serious.
You question
You question yourself. Now that's the real chemical castration. Because once indecisiveness is into the equation, is into the psyche, now you're ineffective. Because indecision cannot produce life. You don't know when to act or when not to act. You don't know what to do or what not to do. So you're stuck right here, chasing your own tail.
In a revolution.
In a revolution. It's critical because this is what we have to overcome. Come on, brother.
in a revolution and don't want the bananas.
That's a chemical and pesticide tampering with the food supply.
Oh, the food everybody eats.
There it is.
There it is.
Will be an obvious place to begin experimental with chemicals.
So now you understand why Syngenta, these companies, Monsanto, and just to be aware, Whole Foods and Monsanto are together. That's why Whole Foods can sell you organic, seedless watermelons. But if you know what organic means, it means something that naturally grows, naturally is produced. So how can something, a watermelon without seeds, grow naturally? So what you say, you change what organic means? Or what organic means now? Oh, man. Okay, so, but this is how they fool us. So they produce Whole Foods as this beacon of light, this place that you can get fresh food, locally grown fruits and vegetables. It's your salvation to the food justice that we suffer from.
Free range chicken.
Free range chicken.
And you are with
You know what I'm saying? Oh, we say organic beef. What? You gotta hear me now. This is critical because these are lies that we accept and we tell to each other. Oh, bro, I'm healthy. I eat organic chicken. I eat organic cow. I eat organic seedless watermelons and grapes. You ain't getting no benefit from it. The reason that you eat is not to feed your appetite, but to feed your body, to give it the minerals that it needs and the vitamins and the nutrition to sustain itself so that you can perpetuate the soul that it houses. You gotta hear me now. But if your body is not at its optimal level, your spirit is suppressed. That's why they have to keep you demineralized. That's why they have to. Now I want to go to the other part, so I gotta wrap it up. We covered we covered the food and we covered we covered the pesticides and herbicides. Now I want to go to scripture real quick. St. Matthew 2:16. This plan has been in effect from day one. Prevent the rise of the Messiah.
Saying, where is he that is born, King of the Jews? Then Herod,
the king of the time, doing Jesus, Yeshua.
Then Herod, when he saw that he was mocked of the wise men, was exceeding wroth and sent forth and slew all the children.
Okay, destroy all the children. Destroy all the children. This is keep that same madness continue to be perpetuated. And this is before the white supremacist world.
Yeah.
This is when we still control it.
Right.
Keep going. This is that self-hate that we've been in us for thousands of years. Since the time of Cain and Abel.
Slew all the children that were in Bethlehem, and in all the coasts thereof, from 2 years old and under.
Okay. Stop right there. Destroy all the children from 2 years old and under. What could they do? You don't need two. You think your compassion would appeal to them. The children, why would you want to destroy the babies? Absolutely. Because they know they're unadulterated. They know they're unaffected. For the most part of the lies and deception, they have a chance to produce the kingdom of heaven. It's another chance. Their lineage is before because they know their spirit dwells in them. Even if it's dormant, it's still in there. So the small inkling of truth, small order of truth will activate it in them and produce that God-fearing man. So I want to fast forward that. I want to go to how they're destroying the babies. Here it is. Now this is Bill Gates. Everybody got it. Read the title real quick.
India holds Bill Gates accountable for his vaccine crimes.
For his vaccine crimes, chemical castration. We give all our babies vaccinations. We give them vaccines. We give them these shots at the hospitals. Nobody's vetting these doctors. Nobody's seeing what's in these sterols. Nobody's seeing what they're injecting inside of them. We don't have those scientists to correct or to identify what they say is in it is really in it.
Right.
But one thing we do know is what happens after they get these injections, after they get these vaccinations. Y'all hear me now? This is what Bill Gates is doing. Keep reading, Bill.
As Bill Gates faces a lawsuit for the illegal testing of tribal children in India, it appears that his crime against humanity had finally caught up with him.
This is the Microsoft himself. The same people that's working with Yahoo, the same people that's working with Facebook, same people working with Instagram and Twitter, they all one. There's no difference. Apple, they all one. Keep going. Same agenda.
A recent report published by Health Impact News has reported that the Gates Foundation has found itself facing a pending lawsuit due to an investigation that the building being carried out by the Supreme Court of India.
Somebody else to their deviousness.
Health Impact News stated, while fraud and corruption are relieved on almost a daily basis now in the vaccine industry.
All the vaccine industries or companies, enterprises, corporations do this. Corruption and death is their mandate. We read in tragedy hope that the number one mandate, I keep going back to that, is to kill and murder. To create weapons. Vaccinations are weapons. Chemical castration. The pesticides, the herbicides are weapons. The food is weapons.
That's how they created America.
That's how they created it. The first thing they did with the Indians,
Smallpox.
hey, you want this blanket? Keep warm? We've been keeping warm thousands of years before you got here. But we'll take that token of appreciation since we showed you how to survive. Okay, it's successful. We accept it. But killed off millions and millions of people. Indigenous, God-fearing, God-essence, God-nature people. Hear me now. This is what we're doing. This is what we're dealing with now.
The U.S. mainstream media continues to largely ignore such stories. Outside the U.S., however, the vaccine empires are beginning to crumble.
Yeah, people waking up. We're the last people that's waking up. Our people. Because white people into this. The ones that perpetuate it, they into it.
And English versions of the news and mainstream media outlets are available via the internet. One such country is India, where the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation and their vaccine empire are under fire, including a pending lawsuit currently being investigated by the India Supreme Court. The Health Impact News article centered largely on a 4-page report that was recently published by Economic Times India.
Okay, I want to bump down to this one line right here. I just want you to hear this and then I'm going to finish up. It's a long page, it's 4 pages, it's a long document, but I just want to situate our point by reading this one article.
BMGF, PATH, and who were criminally
These are all organizations, these are all corporations, are negligently
trialing the vaccines on a vulnerable, uneducated, and underinformed population, school administrators.
So they create the problem, they create the scenario where they need vaccinations by polluting the air, polluting the water, destroying the food, destroying the ecosystems. Because this is what they've done in Egypt since the British colonial times. This is what they've done. And so now they say, well, to seem omnipotent, to seem caring and loving, how do you induce some people in your favor? You come with gifts, you come with tidings. But we're not checking their hearts, we're not checking the intent of what they're coming for, and we're not checking their history or their past. They don't know, they just want to live. So they won't be receptive. Okay, I'm dying, this shot will cure me. Okay, but what is it doing?
Students and their parents who were not proved, informed, consent, or advised of potential awareness of effects are required to be monitored post-vaccinations.
But it says the young tribal girls tested with this HPV vaccines end up getting the disease themselves. They give it to you.
Yeah.
They give it to you. That's what the vaccination does. It gives you live viruses that they say are dormant, and then it acclimates to the body and it helps defend against it, so that your immune system builds up the response and the tolerance for it. That's crap. They give you the disease, telling you it's going to cure you or prevent you from getting it. How are you going to prevent me from getting something that you just gave me?
Like the flu shot.
It's all of it, So I want to, on that point, before I wrap up, I just want to talk about the last chemical castration aspect that we face, and it's deception and lies, which is the most detrimental. That has the lie and deception into the brain, into the heart, chemically changes your biological structure, your biological makeup. So now, when you're stuck in a lie and deception, you start believing untruths. So if anybody was in the Passover class, that was produced cognitive dissonance, when your brain is occupied by two conflicting thoughts at the same time. So because you have this idea that, I know it's killing me, I know it's destroying me, I should be doing better, but I can't stop. Self-deception, self-lies, that's what it does to you. It keeps you in a cycle of perpetuating death. There's more to go into that, but I want to wrap up with that. But just before I bring the rabbi close on out, because it's getting late and I want to get you guys out of here in some time. This is the solution. First and foremost, before we do anything, we have to come together and see what everybody wants, what everybody is applying, what everybody's trying to ascertain. We all want freedom, we all want salvation, and we all want to have the ability to be self-determined, self-sustainable, and self-sufficient. We have to be on the same platform. We have to be on the same page. We all have aspects and we all have endeavors that we are proficient and efficient in. We can produce the world that we want to see now. We already have those capabilities. So my mandate is to be a trumpet blower, but at the same time, and having the final call, I also have to be a part of the building of the infrastructure and the institutions. So my call to everybody is whoever wants to create this environment that we so desperately need, please let's help participate and build this. The reason for this class is to see if we're all on the same wavelength, if we all want the same things, and that we all understand the problems and detriments that we're facing. But after that, we have to produce something. So this is just a precursor, but after this is eventually turned into us not just acquiring certain knowledge and certain information, but creating it. That has to be the most important and the number one goal that we do. Because our number one mandate is not death, it's life. And the creation and the perpetuation and the preservation of life. And that's what we have to get to. And that's what these classes represent for me. It's not about me coming up here talking about not speaking with the rabbi or anybody else. It's about us being brothers and sisters again and building a world for our babies and our babies' babies. So on that note, I leave you. I came in the words of peace. Shalom. We're going to help you.
That's next class, all right? Get the weeds out. Hallelujah. See now, we talked about this thing called community. That's how all this started, right? This whole thing started with this thing called community. And it started with, in order to have a community, it all starts with one thing, and that is commonality. So it seems to me that there's one commonality that I've heard right so far. That is that we're all under attack. That's just one commonality. And I don't know. I just don't like to be under attack, especially if I can't do nothing about it. So right now, we need to start thinking about a community that can react to our attack.
Yes, sir. Please.
But we won't talk about that today. We'll talk about it next time.
Absolutely.
So, normally we sing this song. And who was here before? Who know it? You know it.
She knows.
She know it. Oh, man. All Israel's ain't from Israel. Now, come on now. You know that. So now, it's the Shema. You know the Shema, right? So, of course. See, she from Israel.
Look at how I live in
Now, I'm looking for it here so you can help me sing.
Can she sing for us?
You can sing?
Please, can you bless us? You might jump back this room. We may not ever see you again.
Uh-oh.
I won't see you again. Everybody else not. Okay?
We help you?
Give it to her.
Oh, here it is. Come on up here. We both on the spot.
Okay. Want me to sing?
Yeah, go on.
Smile,
Smile, that's it.
Yahweh Elohim, Yahweh Echad.
You got it.
Shema Israel, Yahweh Eloheinu, Yahweh Echad. Now, what does that mean? Hear, O Israel. Yah is our God. Because our God got a name.
Yes, sir.
Yah is our God. And we are one with Yah. Let's do that again. Now, all y'all heard that great song, right?
Yes, sir.
My voice ain't that good. Heard? Yes.
Say it.
That's what I just said. I can't say that. They won't let me go. They won't let me say it gracefully, right? I cannot say it. Okay. So now.
Shema Israel, Yahweh Eloheinu, Yahweh
Echad. Hallelujah. Now, everybody here got to go somewhere. I'm not going to tell you got to leave here. You got to leave this room. You can go out there. So I'm going to say this. May Yah bless you. May He guard you. May Yah shine His countenance on you. May He be gracious unto you. And most of all, may He grant you peace. Amen.
Brother TK, we was talking about this chemical warfare, this chemical castration. I want to give TK a quick word. He has products that can help reverse this process. So TK, can you just give him a quick description? You ain't got to go into detail. I ain't trying to put you on the spot before the drugs people. Go ahead. Because we got solutions, everybody. So let's use these solutions.
So the brother was talking about chemical castration. If you guys ever notice on YouTube, they have these videos where the officer can do this one gentleman and men will be standing around just watching. That's a form of chemical castration. When you go to France and England, when they see that occur, the men in the crowd, they start attacking. Their testosterone level kicks in and it tells them instinctively, you have to help this individual. So that's a part of the castration. We have products on the planet. It's a solution. Mother Nature gives you a solution for every problem you have. Listen, sugar diabetes, low testosterone, low estrogen, every problem the human body has, there's a plant that governs that. And I've been spending a lot of my time here in Chicago the last 6 years researching these plants and experimenting with them on people and on myself. And I do have solutions to low testosterone levels and low estrogen levels. And a host of other illness that the body has, natural herbal remedies. So if you want to know, just contact me and I can help out. Yes, it works. Things that work. You don't have to take it for 3-4 years. Things that work in months.
Next class, you bring some information for everybody?
Yes, sir.
My man.
For the next class.
And some product. Next class, that's a good question. Does anybody want another class? We want to do it again?
Yeah.
Yeah.